Hey, what's up, guys? So, as I'm sure most of you remember, a couple months ago I made a video addressing the tragic death of a girl named Gloria Bambo. Well, recently there's been some more misinformation circulating around the internet, and we're going to address that in today's video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, you are watching Inspiring Inquiry. So as some of you may have realized, I haven't uploaded in about a month or so. Hopefully you can tell I'm recording in a new area of my home. I set up a new studio to be able to do these videos in, and hopefully if all goes well, I will be returning to work soon. But don't fret, I will be continuing to make videos and improving on the channel overall. Now, I found that recently one of my videos had seen a surge in viewership, which prompted me to go ahead and take a look and see why is it getting so many more views than when I had originally released it. It's the video of Gloria Bambo. The reason is because people have been sharing around this video of a girl being attacked and eventually hung by men wearing Confederate clothing, saying that it was Gloria Bambo, reigniting the use of the hashtag Justice for Gloria Bambo, leading people to the video that I made a couple months ago. Well, if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, or you're just finding out about her death for the first time right now, I'll go ahead and put a card at the top. That way you guys can click that and go and watch that video and get all that information. Then you can come back and watch this video to see the updated information that we have. But just a quick rundown, let's go ahead and go over some of the particulars. Gloria Bambo was a Texas resident who was about 20 years old from South Africa, who was living with her roommate in McKinney, Texas. On July 12th, he notified the police, claiming that he found her hanging in the garage and that he had suspected that it was a suicide that she had committed 3 days earlier on July 9th. Given the circumstances of her death, a lot of people questioned whether or not it was a suicide as purported by the roommate and the McKinney police, or whether or not it was a murder perpetrated by the roommate himself. One social media user going on to point out the oddities in the case, as well as highlighting the fact that she was black and that her roommate was white. Now, I don't consider that a determining factor when regarding whether or not it was suicide or a murder, but I will say that after going over the facts of the case, the facts that have been released by the police and by the roommate himself, it definitely left a lot of questions that were unanswered, and we still haven't heard much about what is going on in that investigation or whether or not that investigation is continuing. I went over some of those questions towards the end of my last video. Be sure to go back if you need a refresher on what some of those questions were. But I would like to refocus back to the video that is being shared around now. Many people re-commenting on old posts and things like that, claiming that this guy recorded a video and that he put it up, and why hasn't anybody been arrested in the Gloria Bambo case? Now, like I said earlier in this video, I have been busy lately. I've had a lot of things going on, but I found it odd that I would have missed something so big as a break in the case with no media coverage whatsoever. Upon doing some digging in this regard, I came upon the video that has been purported to be the video of her death, saying that, this is the guy, this is the roommate, you can see him, he's wearing a Confederate flag t-shirt, and they're hanging her in the video. Although there are many, including myself, that would like to see a lot of these questions answered and the people or person brought to justice who may have been involved in Gloria Bambo's death, the person in the video is not Gloria Bambo. In fact, the video itself was shared back in February of 2017, long before Gloria Bambo's tragic and untimely death. Even though the time in this video's release shows that it clearly wasn't involved with Gloria Bambo's death, this isn't the first time that it's been mistaken for another person's death who died by hanging. But we'll go ahead and get back to that in a second, and we'll talk about that girl who was confused for the person in the video. The video itself, as far as I can tell from all the research that I've done and the articles that I've looked up, doesn't ever show whether or not the video was real or fake. A lot of people, whenever it first came about, questioned whether or not the video itself was real or faked. I mean, you can take a look for yourself. There's going to be links to articles that have covered it in the description below. You can go ahead and determine whether or not you think it was real. But regardless, as far as I can tell, there hasn't been really much of an investigation into whether or not it was real or faked by any police department. And in fact, in one of the articles that I read, it was purported to have been directed to the FBI, but they never actually got a response as to whether or not they were conducting an investigation to see if anybody had been harmed in the making of that video. Now, like I said, not long after the release of the video, it was being looked at as to whether or not it was involved with another girl's death, a girl by the name of Kendra Reed, who passed away on April 28th, and her death was deemed a suicide by police and also questioned by others as to whether or not it actually was a suicide. If you're following along, you may have noticed a pattern beginning to arise of young black girls who died by hanging being confused for the girl in the video. Even though there's not much, we're going to go over what information we do have about the video and its origin. The video originally was released on dailymotion.com in February of 2017. The video itself seemed to be a response to a similar situation that took place in Chicago, where one person was tortured at the hands of other people's, where race played a key factor in the situation. The video being posted to dailymotion.com under an account labeled Confederate's Revenge. The original video, showing some text on screen that, I'm paraphrasing here, said something about this is what happens if you torture white people, and that other people should be expecting this same kind of treatment if these kinds of things continue. Now, even though I shouldn't have to say it, I will go ahead and say it. Violence is terrible, and you should never use violence to further some sort of goal that you have. We here on this channel don't condone violence in any shape or form. Disregarding the message of the video, if the video isn't of Gloria Bambo and her tragic death, and if it isn't of Kendra Reed and her tragic death, then who is in the video, and is the video of an actual real lynching? In order to figure that out, I had to turn to the internet in the comment sections, where the internet did what it does best, and it speculated that the girl in the video resembled a sex worker by the name of Tracy Cush. In the comment sections of the posts where people were referencing or talking about this particular video, a lot of people were saying that she did resemble Tracy Cush, although Miss Cush later weighed in on her Twitter account to say that she didn't have anything to do with the film, that she wasn't the girl in the film, and that she doesn't know anything about it. Since then, her Twitter account has either been deleted or taken down. I'm not really sure which, so we can't really reference it to see those tweets anymore, but I will put a link in the description below to the news media site that reported on it when she did do that. After searching around the internet and different news articles related to Miss Reed's death, I was trying to find out whether or not anybody has investigated this video or seen who made it or anything, and I haven't found anything as to whether or not police, the FBI, or anybody has made an investigation to see whether or not someone was harmed in the making of that film. As I said earlier in my video, there was a blog site that I found where this guy was going over the video itself and kind of breaking it down and the information surrounding the video to kind of give his take on it. He said that he did notify the FBI, even though he didn't get any response from them as to whether or not they were opening an investigation. And there were many in the comment section of this blog site as recent as October of 2020, which is the current month now, saying that they were still looking for updates, still trying to figure out information. And as far as I could see, there wasn't anything on there or anything that anybody could add to shed more light on this situation. Although I made my video to address the questions whether or not it was concerning Gloria Bambo, this particular inquiry has left me with a lot of very interesting unanswered questions. Who is the girl in the video? Is the video real? And has anybody opened an investigation to determine whether or not there was any hate crimes or any murder or anything related to the making of this video? As always, I appreciate you guys watching my video. I just wish that I had better information as to whether or not this was real or faked, or if anybody was harmed. But until then, like this video. That way you guys can help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Share this video so that way people can hear about stories like Gloria Bambo and Kendra Reed. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. That way you can be informed and up to date on all of my new content that comes out as soon as it comes out. Thank you for watching. This is Inspiring Inquiry.